Take command of Lewis and Clark's Corp of Discovery expedition and lead them on a cross-country mission to explore the land, ... and kill demonic monsters. You'll have to form an uneasy alliance with the local indigenous nations to send the creatures back to whatever hell spawned them, all while using logic and deduction to acquire the resources needed to survive the never-ending challenges posed by the harsh terrain. Today on the Board Boys,
Corp of Discovery.
A game in the world of Manifest Destiny.
And Manifest Destiny.
Yes, Manifest Destiny is the name of the graphic novel. And the first volume is called Flora and Fauna, which oddly enough is the two things that are in the base game of Corp of Discovery. So that is what it is.
The rest of that is expansion.
Yeah, there's a bunch of expansions up in here in the Kickstarter edition Super Mega Deluxo box. So
Deluxe or Bust.
That is correct. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Board Boys Podcast, Season 16, Episode 13, the finale. Tonight on the podcast, Corp of Discovery, a game set in the world of Manifest Destiny from Off the Page Games. This is your board boy, Trailblazing Rob.
This is your boy, struggling on the trail, TK.
This is the guest, Jared.
Jared?
It's just Jared.
Just Jared.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to know my last name. It's just Jared.
If you need a nice throwback, I mean, we talk about Jared on the podcast sometimes.
We do.
But he's an old throwback guest from Season 1.
Episode 11.
Episode 11,
okay.
If you want to go back and hear his thoughts on Orleans.
Yeah, definitely Orleans. You probably don't want to go back and listen to my thoughts on that.
I'm just saying, I played probably 3 or 4 games of Orleans on BGA.
And you have a gray beard after that?
Like, that game is so long.
On PGA.
Well, on BGA, and I remember the one time I played in person, it's like 18 rounds.
It is a lot of rounds.
Like, it feels really long.
I mean, that's how long, like, Underwater Cities is.
Underwater Cities is like 30 turns, that's true.
Right.
Yeah, but it does not feel like 30 turns.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
I love the mechanic of Orleans. Not to get
drawing
back
of the bag?
into it. Yeah, the bag building is cool. It's just, I wish it was a little bit more dynamic.
I do need to pull it out again because it's in my Play All My Games I Own challenge.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that challenge.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
Give us an update. Isn't it 2 years?
Yeah, the problem is I keep buying new games.
Well, that is past Rob's problem.
That's true.
Present Rob's problem has to play all his games.
I'm 45% done, but I'm a year and a half in.
Yeah, so you got 6 months to play.
I feel like I've been stuck at like 45% for a while now, though.
Yeah. I mean, I would say every time that I talk to you and I come over to your house, you probably have 30 to 40 new board games. So it makes sense.
That's not true.
It makes sense.
You did miss this last October, so a lot of those games haven't gotten played yet.
Also true.
Yeah, so stop being a coach and start playing board games.
That's true.
You know?
I'm just going to have to start. You know what? A bunch of these are like little, small, short kids games, though.
Oh, here's what you do.
What's that?
The coal is coming. Coal 55% of your collection.
I mean, the coal is coming, and so that will bring the number down a little bit.
Yeah.
The question is, will I cull stuff I haven't played yet? I don't know. Because part of it was I wanted to play it again before I got rid of it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's been a lot of games that I've bought that I've never played and that I've culled. A couple that are on my list for that might...
I bet there's some that are on your list of not played that you culled and then bought again.
I'd have to dig deep and figure that one out. I don't think there's anything I've ever sold and bought again that I had not played.
Yeah. Because usually when you buy it again, then
I
you're
sold
in.
Shadows over Camelot once upon a time with the expansion. And I rebought Shadows over Camelot, and I don't have the expansion anymore, which is sad. And there's been one or two other things. I rebought Smash Up because I had like a crazy good deal on it, and Bo likes that. Those are the two that I can think of at the top of my head. But I have
Explorers of Nevoria.
I'm going to own that forever.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think the couple of games that I'm thinking about getting rid of that I haven't played yet. One is that Jerusalem game.
Yep.
That I even made an insert for.
Let's play it next week.
I did play it solo one time by myself to like learn it.
That counts.
I don't remember how to play it though.
Okay, that doesn't count.
But the other one is that Moon game. I can't remember the name of it, but it redid Mombasa by Pfister, and they made it into a spacey moon type game. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. I don't remember what the name of the game is.
Yeah.
I need to get that game played. And I haven't actually read the rule book for that. That's the game I probably owned. I'd be curious to see. I've had that for a couple of years now, and it just sits there.
Yeah, I mean, we hang out with people that, I guess, apparently design games with them, so let's just play that.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'll make Jake teach it to me, because
Yeah.
he probably just learns that through osmosis.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, I did play a game with Alex, and I said, Alex, you're dead to me. I'm going to go burn all your games when he took my stuff. So,
You're dead to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
yeah, I mean, it was his fault. And then he also then gave me stuff, so then he was back in my good graces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
So, I actually walked back out in the living room. I put all his games back on the shelf. Like, it was a whole ordeal.
they
So,
were in the trash. You had to go get them.
I had to go get
and then
them,
bring them
in the middle of the
back.
game on TTS. I went and got it. I threw them all away, and
Makes
then I
sense.
brought them back.
Sky Mines, the
Sky
game
Mines,
I'm
yeah.
thinking of. And that was from 2022, so that might actually be 3 years old now at this point.
Sounds about right.
Because I'm pretty sure I got that when it came out. But I really liked Mombasa, but you couldn't get that anymore. Also, the theme is problematic.
Is
the time.
Mombasa the elephant one?
No.
No, Mombasa was... The elephant one was
You only played it like once or twice.
Amritsu.
Yeah.
That one was
I
fun.
played that probably a half a dozen times, and I got rid of it. But Mombasa is I remember it being some kind of path type game.
I don't know. Yeah,
That's
we'll find out.
Very.
We reviewed it.
Yeah. When we do it, we'll
Just go back
yeah.
to that episode.
Go back
Yeah.
and check it out.
Season 3, episode 15. I don't know.
That
I'm just guessing.
just throw it out there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are rolling shorthanded again. Sorry for this is the summer of odd podcast groupings and pairings, because we had an episode with just Cam and I, and then we had one without Cam, and now we've got one without Cam and Jake. So who knows? We're all
Yeah.
really busy this summer.
Yeah.
So
You had one with Cam and Rob only?
Yeah.
That was recently? Yeah.
Bo was in there too.
Okay.
And we'll keep pumping out the content. We can get some kind of configuration of the crew together.
Yeah.
And we are live here from Dungeons Gate, which I haven't said that too many times. So that's fun. Being in
have
the
a nice
Dungeons
room.
Gate back room.
Yeah. It's chill. It's got a nice table. We got Jared.
That's
We
true.
roped him
Yeah.
into it.
What else? What else could you want?
Yeah.
Everyone,
nothing
everyone
else.
else was scared of the fourth seat.
Yeah, we got Coke Zeros. We got Slim Chickens.
Yeah, we tried to get somebody in the fourth seat, but everyone was too afraid to sit down and go trailblaze
Yeah.
with Lewis and Clark
And
and then
monsters.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Crazy people.
All right, let's talk about some board games we've been playing. I'm going to talk about a couple. One is Trickerion, Legends of Illusion. A couple episodes ago, I talked about playing the Ankeny big box. Well, we played Trickerion with all the fixins. And Jared, you were in that game too, right?
It was. Yep.
Yeah, so we played with everything except for we had to choose between magician powers and the contraptions, because those kind of serve the same purpose. And they say don't play with both of those things. So that'd be pretty insane. Magician powers, I think I've only ever played with one time, but it gives you a different way to use your shards. And they are just crazy, wacky, awesome things that you draft at the beginning of the game. And when I first kind of got into Trickerion, I was like, yeah, that's way too much. Now I kind of like them. They're wildly swingy, though.
They're a lot, yeah. And if you're someone that likes to know what everybody else is capable of doing, it makes it really hard. And sometimes in Trickerion, it's really important to know where you think people are going to go and
That's
place their
true.
workers. So it adds another layer on. But if you're familiar with the game, it makes it a lot more dynamic.
Yeah, I've actually played Trickerion a couple times recently, and between that and some cards and some special things, there was one round where I got to take 3 turns in a row before anyone else went.
Yeah,
And that felt real
sounds
mean.
infuriating. I'd come across the table and stab you.
I also didn't really mind the Academy. I thought the Academy was kind of neat.
I thought it was cool.
I really enjoyed the Academy, actually. I thought that was a really cool dynamic.
Yeah, it gives you something else to do with your tricks, which is cool. And I really like the extra protege worker that you can upgrade and buff him up. I think that guy's cool too.
Yeah, and that guy got special powers, right? You could choose
Yeah.
as a spot. You could
And
use
then
special power.
drafted powers for him and added them in layers.
Yeah, yeah. And so you could have like up to 3 powers on him, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah, and then every time you put one on there, like his action point value would go up, so he could do better stuff.
Yeah, that was a fun game.
Yeah,
I still really love that game. Everything about that game I like. Besides Rob.
I'm still not very good at it, but it's really, really fun to play.
I backed the Arcane Arts expansion on the recent Kickstarter for the 10th anniversary edition, which seems cool. They're doing a board with new art, which looks awesome. If you have not jumped in on Trickerion before, this might be a good place to start if you just want everything. The Arcane Arts expansion looks kind of cool. It has kind of its own new resource, which are shards. And it looks like it has a new worker placement spot for the dice. There's an Arcanist board that you can do some stuff on. And it looks like they actually have some like maybe extra worker tokens. And then like there's these enchantment things you can do. It looks like a fairly small expansion. And I thought when I read all about it, I was like, all that sounds like cool stuff to just add in, even if you were going to play like base game and this.
It looked like it didn't have a lot of overhead and complication to it.
Yeah, it didn't. And I really think like another location to go put your worker could be fun.
Yeah, it could also... The worker placement's so tough anyway. I mean... You can never just... Yeah.
There is one thing about... Have I ever played it with you where you haven't played it that way?
Yeah, I assume you're going to say where you can just... pick your card in turn order.
Yeah.
Like, so you place a worker and then pick your card.
Some people don't like the action programming, which I really like that. I could take or leave it, I guess. I like it better. Dungeon Lords is one of my favorite games, and it has the action programming, and I think the action programming in Dungeon Lords is more interesting than Trickerion.
What's the difference?
Because you're trying to like specifically get certain spots, and things trigger off in order. So you might be like, oh, should I put this card earlier in my turn thing? So you're basically programming your 3 actions ahead of time, and they're going to go off in that order.
Okay.
Whereas Trickerion, you're just like, here's all the things I'm doing, and I pick where I'm going to go each time. So it's like, in Dungeon Lords, it's like, oh, you want that second trap spot because it's like a juicy free trap. Or maybe you have an extra $1, so you want to go third and get 2 traps.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so what... If you just did it, it would change, like... If you looked at everybody's board, you can kind of see if someone's not going someplace. So that would change a little bit. But otherwise, it would mostly make it so that if you got blocked out of a spot, you could then do something with that worker.
And people have mentioned, like, I think that's maybe even an official variant. I think a lot of people can AP hard the planning aspect. So originally when I played Trickerion years ago, we played it a couple of times to try to avoid the AP thing. The other thing we did was we made it so we turned all of the special assignment decks face down, which they made that like the way to play now.
And draw 2.
You just draw 2, keep 1 instead of having to evaluate all the cards all the time. So I don't think you break the game at all with Trickerion if you don't want to do the programming and you want to just be like, okay, I'm going to assign this card here now and we're going to go there. I don't think I need to play that way anymore, and like I haven't for a long time, but I know we used to do that. Back when it was like people would take forever to plan all their actions.
With Trickerion, it's just it's so tight in the amount of workers you have and all the stuff that you need to get done in the round, and it has to happen in like kind of a specific order. So you can definitely get screwed a little bit. But I do like when everybody flips the cards, you're like, I'm the only one performing this round, so now I can go, or like I'm the only one going to the market, so now I know I can go do my other stuff.
That is cool.
Yeah, I like having that pre-knowledge.
It makes you feel good too, like, like, haha. Or, I don't know. But then on the other side, like, if you need to go to an action spot and you're in first place, like, you're just probably not getting it.
Also true.
Yeah.
I've also come around on, like, the prophecies and stuff. I don't know. I think as I've played more and more games, playing games, like, that are higher complexity don't bog me down quite as much anymore. Or I just decide to totally ignore parts of things and live with it.
Yeah.
But like I just remember like thinking, oh, I don't really care about playing with the prophecies, but now I don't mind them.
The hardest part for me of the prophecies is remembering that they're actually active during the round.
That's true.
Otherwise I just Some of them are like inconsequential too, and then some of them really suck. So, but usually the ones that like really suck, some are really good. But those are usually the ones that everybody pays attention to. But sometimes it's like one that just affects one part of one turn and everybody forgets it or whatever.
Yeah.
It is, so.
I will say, if you're going to play Trickerion, even if it's your first time, I would ignore the 5-round game and just play the 7-round game.
Yeah, because by the time
unless you're playing with like super beginner level people,
you should not play Trickerion.
But you shouldn't be playing that game anyway. But the 7-round game is like the actual game when you play with the 36-point tricks and stuff. Like the first time we played, I remember playing with the 5 rounds, and it just was not fulfilling.
Yeah, like rounds 5, 6, and 7 is where you actually like all of the stuff that you've been doing for the first rounds actually
comes
gets
to fruition.
Going.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I got one. So I picked up Square One, which is a, I guess call it game in the Project L universe. I do really love Project L. So
shapes.
Of shapes, yeah. I guess I don't. So it's designer Patrick Chilbon and John Sokol. It is similar to Project L in that you have like your turn structure is the same. You get to do I don't remember what it is without looking at the card. I think it's three things. You get to do 3 things. You can take a project out of the center. They have both the white back and the black backs. In this one, the white ones only give you new tiles and no points. The black backs are the only ones that give you points. They don't give you any tiles. So that's a little bit different. And then you can basically gain shapes or change your shapes a little bit. And the shapes are single looking chiclets that have shapes printed on them in like dots. So like one color chiclet just has a single yellow dot on it. The green one has two dots on it, and then there's like different colors for the 3 dots, which would be like an L or a 3 in a line or something like that. So when you're programming your projects, I guess you have to go top to bottom. And in Project L, you can just put the pieces wherever you want. And then when you finish projects, you can finish multiple ones at the same time with your master action. And when you do 2 at the same time, you get an extra point. When you do 3 at the same time, you get 2 extra points. And when you do 4 at the same time, you get 4 extra points. So what that ends up doing is it makes it significantly more thinky about how you are combining and uncombining your pieces, what pieces you're getting to try to go ahead and generate more points. Because you don't generate points off the white tiles anymore. So there's a little less points to go around. So it makes it more worthwhile to kind of combo those together. It tends to bog them down a little bit. So if you're not like, whereas Project L is very breezy, you just who cares, just go do some stuff. This one tends to, I think, get people APing a little bit more around trying to finish multiple things at the same time.
So you think this one's thinkier?
I think this one would be if you want something that is more strategic out of a game like that. No, this is still a weight of 1.7, right? Like it's not heavy, but if you want something that's more strategic than Project L, I think this is a good choice. It was really fun. And I still and it's different enough that like it's not one or the other. They still feel very differently because of the strategic thinking in this one. And Project L is very much just like we play it and chat and talk, and it's very like laid back. So
if you had to pick one, which one would you pick?
If you're a gamer, I would pick Square One. I would personally pick Project L because I think it's just a little bit more chill, and there's more people that you can play it with, if that makes sense. So, but I still really liked it. It's very fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about one more, Galileo Galilei. This is the publisher's Pink Troubadour, but I got it from Capstone Games. Originally, it was from Pink Troubadour, I'm sure. The designer is Thomas Holek of SETI fame, and the artist is Michael Peckel. And this one we'll probably do an episode on, I would guess. And Galileo Galilei, is that how you say his last name?
Galileo Galilei.
I
think so.
All right. Well, so in this one, basically you have, man, Tim, you can probably explain this game better than me. I'm gonna toss that to you.
Yeah. So you have a telescope that you are moving 1 to 3 spaces in kind of like call it quarter circle.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of spaces that you can't in the bottom you can't go to. So and you basically when you get to the top you kind of flip back around, and that is landing on an action, and then underneath it there are bonus tiles that you kind of circle back around. So if you land on a bonus tile at the end of your turn, you take the bonus tile out and you shove it back in the bottom. So you push all the other ones up. So you kind of a rotating section of bonus tiles. And the actions you are doing, you are the two big main ones, you are observing either major, call it planets or things in the cosmos on these cards, or minor pieces. And to do both of those things, you are using colored dice. So the major ones, you have to combine two different colors. So like, red and blue dice make a purple major observation, and then you're trying to get the numbers of the dice to match whatever is on the card. And then the minor ones are the three colors, so yellow, red, blue, and then you can do like two little minors. And then all the rest of the actions are basically to support those two main ones. So tick your dice up. There's a thing called comets, which comets basically you put them on the board, and then when you go to observe something, you spend it as like a 1 or a 2 depending on what side it's on to boost your value of your dice. Otherwise, yeah, it's gaining dice, and then there's these little bonus tokens, I don't know, nuggets, where you can use I don't know what they're called, the triangles.
They're triangles.
Yeah, they're triangles. So you use the triangles to like either tick your dice up, or you can do some other stuff. And then a couple other wrinkles in the game. There's an Inquisition track where you get these little Inquisitors because they're getting mad at you from looking into space at the time of this game.
Yeah, I think that's more than a little wrinkle.
Yeah, it can be quite the wrinkle. So when you place them on your board, nothing happens. You place them in kind of a negative spot. But when they move, you then combine the scores, or like combine the top numbers of each one, and then you move yourself along a track. And moving them is kind of hard, and you want to move them pretty far. And so what ends up happening for some people, they get stuck in like, oh, I moved this guy, and now I have to move myself back 4 spots on this track, and you start running into these negative point numbers. And if you leave them at the bottom, then there's a bunch of negative points at the end of the game. So I think there's a couple of people that have had some rubs of like, well, you ended up with 4 Inquisitors at the bottom of your track at the end of the game, and you lost 36 points. And the other side of the flip side of a wrinkle is that there's this kind of book track where you walk across your observations at the top. Like each observation, when you observe it, it comes down and gives you some little bonuses. You push these books across, and those let you get extra things like movement on tracks. And then there are 4 end game scoring tracks that you can kind of move up that are variable between all the games. So I would say we learned a 4-player game. We played it in 70 minutes. We played our last 3-player game in probably 60 minutes. Like, it's got a lot of depth for not being very long.
Yeah, turns are really snappy, which I like. I'm still like, I think I loved it the first time I played it. So much so that like I thought I might even like it more than SETI, to be honest, which I really still like. But I was like, man, I could like this game is way quicker, more accessible type thing, and like all the combo wombo felt good, except for halfway through that game, I think I spent half the game just trying to deal with Inquisitors because I ended up getting like 5 or 6 of them, just because every card I went for had one. And the one thing you just have to realize when you're playing this is you got to be able to handle the Inquisitors. And the problem is you can't then use like your book track or something that's going to give you one movement, because that's going to hose you and you're going to go the wrong way on that Inquisition track.
Yeah.
Like you have to strategically be able to do a lot of movement at one time. Like I've never seen anybody really go really far like and score high on that Inquisition track, just because it's hard
to get up there.
It's a chore to crank up there. And the game, it's faster than you think. Like you just play through that deck of cards and then it's over. And like those things can come flying off of there quick. And then sometimes cards can just come off of there because they get tucked under a different way. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like it's fairly easy to explain how to play. The second time I played it, I kind of had the same, like it came like maybe a step down for me. I don't know. I want to play it more. I got to just decide what I have not decided on my final thoughts on this game yet.
Yeah, I really liked it. We might do it on an episode or something. But I think the trap that people walk into is usually getting a guy from the card means that it's less value of dice that you need to fulfill the card. So, or that it's worth more points or something. It's generally easier to do or worth more points. And if you're not really paying attention to how many you're gathering, you end up spending the second half of the game trying to figure out how to just move these guys out of here and not score negative 40 points at the end of the game.
Yeah, also, they have player powers on them. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how interesting I find the player powers, to be honest. I might just try playing next time where we all play the same game.
Yeah.
And don't have, like, I feel like some of the player powers, I don't know. Or maybe some of them are just harder to use than others.
They might be more complex.
Or more complex or something.
To get the full benefit.
I'm trying to think what other games I feel like the player powers, like the game might... Oh, like the Arc Nova maps. Mm-hmm. Like, I think all the Arc Nova maps are dumb. Like,
I would say, in comparison to the Arc Nova, I believe the Arc Nova maps are not balanced.
Yeah.
So, like, in comparison to the Arc Nova maps, I believe these guys, like, we haven't played really enough, but I don't think there's, like, anyone that I've been like, oh, that is significantly better than the other one. They're just not very interesting.
Yeah, I just think I wouldn't like balk at just playing the game without them.
They're not like Marco Polo where you're like looking across at Jared and you're like, oh my god, Jared has that power. That thing's amazing. You know, and you look at Rob, you're like, oh, that's amazing power. It's not like that. It's like, oh, you get to put a comment here.
Like I had one that just made the Inquisition track harder but also juicier.
Yeah.
And as a guy that struggled with that after game 1, I probably shouldn't have picked that guy in game 2.
It's probably true.
You played that one, right, Jared?
Yeah, I did. I played as Haley, and I thought his ability was pretty cool, but yeah, it was pretty forgettable.
The game was?
Yeah, he got an
or
extra
the
comment.
ability was?
The ability was. I mean, he basically got an extra comment that was like 2 and 3 bonus instead of 1 and 2. And then I think there was some like extra ways to score when I played comets. Yeah.
What did you think about the game, though, overall?
Oh, I really liked the game. I thought that the Inquisitor thing wasn't that hard. I did feel like I got bogged down in this middle of the game and had to like kind of work my way through getting enough triangles to be able to really push my guys up. But once you crack that, I think the rest of that is pretty simple.
Because like really, once you get some guys, the only way to like really bounce them up is get a bunch of triangles. So then you spend a bunch of time getting triangles and trying not to move your guys.
Or like, I think the next level of that game is maybe even less going for what cards you want or can do, but what is on the spine of those cards, because moving your guys across those books are super powerful and give you lots of things. And I didn't do that at all. All my books had frickin' add Inquisitors.
Yeah.
And that's how I got so many guys on there. It's like, well, I want to move my stuff. But as I was moving it, I'm like, I'll just take Inquisitor number 6. Yeah. Sure, why not?
Yeah, and I think I got 2 Inquisitors the whole game. Like, I went way out of my way to just never get them.
And maybe that's the way to go. But the Inquisitor stuff is juicier in the points, I think.
Or easier to do, or all kinds of things.
That's kind of the trade-off, usually.
Yeah. I would say the one thing about Galileo Galilei is that you kind of have to decide what you're going to do in the game. You just are not going to be able to do everything and kind of be successful. You have to kind of like know that you have to do Inquisitors and then pick like 1 or 2 other things to really kind of lean into. And I think that helps to kind of pull away a lot of the rest of the gunk in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, really what comes up on those scoring tracks is important too, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting. And then I always forget that on the track, when you get to the end, you can only get rid of Inquisitors. It'd be cooler if you could get rid of any Inquisitor, but you can only get ones that you've fully groomed or whatever.
Yeah. You can only get rid of positive. Like, there's a way to get rid of Inquisitors, and you can only get rid of the ones that are at the positive end of your track.
Right. You can't because at the end of the game, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just going to get rid of that guy. I'm like, oh no, I can't.
Yeah.
I think I got like negative. Last time we played, I had like negative 20 points or something.
Yeah.
So.
But it's a fun game. I mean, I would recommend it. Yeah.
It is fun.
For its weight, depth of strategy, and for how long it takes to play, and how easy it is to teach. Like,
I'm excited to check out his other game, Tea Garden. That's coming
also
out.
looks more in the weight of Galileo than in the weight of SETI.
Oh, 100%. Like, Galileo is like firmly in the medium weight Euro category. It's like straight at like a 3.
Yeah.
On Board Game Geek for the weight.
A heavy game that's 2.5, 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of games that are weight 3, tonight on the podcast, we did Corp of Discovery, a game set in the world of Manifest Destiny. It came out in 2025. In Corp of Discovery, you explore America and rid the land of the invasive monsters that have appeared. It is currently ranked 7.9 which is good for 4,537 overall on Board Game Geek. It is 1 to 4 players. The community says 1 to 3 and best at 1. So we failed that tonight. 60 to 90 minutes. Ages 14 plus. The weight is 3.00 out of 5. It is by Jake Cormier and Senfun Lim. Art is Matt Roberts. Publisher is Off the Page Games. I think this is the first Off the Page Games game we've officially done as a main review.
What other games do they have?
Mind Management,
We did not do
which we
that.
talked about on the podcast,
Yeah.
but we didn't do a review on. And then the other one is Harrow County,
Which we did not do.
which we have not done, which I wouldn't mind maybe doing, but I need to play that some more.
I liked Harrow County.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll bring it back.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, it was fun.
it got kind of mixed results
Well-
with people, with different groups.
I think the last one, we played it where like I just obliterated you and somebody else.
Yeah.
And I think with the like the individual asymmetrical powers, if you don't instantly grasp, like if it's new and you don't instantly grasp how to like root or whatever, where you don't instantly
Right.
grasp how to control the other person with your
Right.
faction, someone can just obliterate them.
Well, and
kill
it is
everybody.
essentially a 2-player game that they then added a 3rd player and a 4th player onto.
Okay.
I've played it at 2, like the 1v1, and that's very interesting. And then you throw in the 3rd player, which is like the witch hag lady, and then the 4th one are like the crazy traveler people. But anyway,
It's
not
fun.
not to go too far down that rabbit hole. But Off the Page Games, all their games basically are like graphic novels that they've gotten the IPs and done board games for. And this one, after I went and found Harrow County, after I didn't end up backing it, I backed Corp of Discovery because I looked at it and, I mean, here's my top of the line TLDR version of Corp of Discovery. It is Sudoku meets Minesweeper meets Lewis and Clark plus monsters. And I think that's all you need to know. Basically, it is a cooperative game, and the reason why they say best at 1 is you could just play this by yourself and play the exact same way as we played tonight with 3 people, right?
Yep.
Just the same way that you would sit down and do a Sudoku by yourself, or play
hours.
Minesweeper.
Or play hours and hours of Minesweeper by yourself.
Exactly. So it's the same deal. I'm just going to talk for now about the base game. There's 2 different chapters. One is fauna and one is flora. In fauna, you're trying to go around and find these camps on the board and learn how to kill the minotaurs and then find the minotaurs and kill them. And if you do that 3 times, you win. If you can't feed yourself at the end of a round or run out of water, I think if you run out of a deck of cards too, that's the other way you lose. In Flora, you're going around and you're trying to go find this Greek fire and pick it up. You're also trying to find specific spots on the board so you can walk along this trail and eventually get to the end. And then you need to have a bunch of resources, and you can't have let a bunch of your guys die, essentially. You have some special components for each scenario. Kind of has its own like little set of components that you can use. And there are minotaurs in the Flora chapter too. And there's a spot on the board called Sacagawea, and that's how you kill them all in this one. And the minotaurs basically just make it harder to explore in their row and column. You have like a shared inventory board where you hold things. You have cards. The board is really cool. It's this dual layer kind of board that you slide like your map into, and then you cover it up with all these little wooden circles. And on your turn, you're basically just exploring a circle next to somewhere you've already explored, and you do whatever it says. And every scenario has kind of a cheat sheet of saying wood is always next to water, and there's water or there's wood in only 1 wood in every row in every column or something, right? Like there can't be 2 wood in the same one. So it's basically a sheet of logic. So when you find some stone, you're like, okay, well, what can be next to stone? It could be water, and then if those 2 things are next to each other, there's going to be a mud, and that's going to be right there. So it's basically just figuring out where things are, not wasting your turns going places you shouldn't, and not running into bad stuff you shouldn't either, especially in the case of the Flora chapter. So there's a lot more going on in this game, but let's get to the table and come back with our thoughts on Corp of Discovery. We are back. Initial thoughts time on Corp of Discovery. I will start with Jared. Jared, I brought this game in to Dungeons Gate on a Tuesday, and you said, "Oh, that's a new game I haven't played." And you tend to like playing new games.
I love to play new games.
So, what was your initial thoughts when I was setting up Corp of Discovery?
I mean, I think you had me at the word Minesweeper. I used to play a ton of Minesweeper growing up, just sitting on my computer, booting up like the hardest version of Minesweeper I could find, and then clicking around until I found all the mines or blew myself up. So immediately I was like, oh, logic. I'm a huge fan of Cryptid as well, which is kind of a similar concept of a game, and where you're kind of, that one's a little bit more competitive, whereas this one's more cooperative. But there's that sense of like, here are all the rules, you know all the rules, but you really don't know anything else. And it's time for you to kind of use those rules to determine and search around and find where this thing is. So that type of kind of concept, that type of gameplay mechanic is really interesting to me. And I really enjoyed that when you brought that up. So it was something that I definitely wanted to try out.
All right. I don't know how pumped I was to play this game out of the gate. I mean, I like Cryptid, and I do like some of the kind of the general puzzles. I would say I probably like the one versus many, especially when you're the one, Rob. I don't this podcast
Be the one.
but Rob and I have a love-hate relationship where I can sometimes mind game into finding you on the last turn before we die, and then kill you. I've done this a couple times. Mind management was the one I did it a bunch, where I found you like 1 second before you're going to win the game.
We really need to do more one versus many games on the podcast.
Or the exact opposite happens, where I think I know where Rob's at, and he's on the other side of the map. So it's like it's never like, it's always just like we hammer you like, and we find you right away, and we know exactly where you're going, or like you're just gone. So
Cam likes to do that to me too.
Yeah, we have kind of a history with that. So, but I think I would have preferred that game, but I jumped in this game and I was actually very pleasantly surprised by how much I liked the game. With being really hesitant going into it.
Yeah, I originally backed it because the theme was cool. I probably should pick up the graphic novel and check it out because I'd probably enjoy reading it. When I first opened it up, I was pleasantly surprised. Like, it's a really nice production, and I kind of had forgotten what the game was about. And so as I was reading the rules, I was like, oh, okay. And I really like deduction is one of my favorite like genres of games. So cooperative deduction is even better. People might see something that you don't, and being able to talk things out is pretty cool as well. So why don't we hit some pros here? I mean, I'm going to just talk about the base game right now.
That's all we played, right?
Like the retail. We've only played that because we played the Flora and we played the Fauna scenario. And even with those two, there are lots of maps in the box, and the maps are all different. And they're two different games, essentially.
Flora and Fauna.
Yeah, so in Fauna, you're trying to go kill the buffalo-headed minotaurs that roam the area, as I read the back of this box. And to do that, you have to find the forts. And every map shows you where you can find a fort.
The rule for this map for the fort.
Yeah, and every map is different. So, like, the one I'm looking at the back of the box shows, like, and I think they weren't all in L shapes. But, like, this one's an L shape where it shows a skull, a water, and then a fort. So, and that can be rotated in any orientation. So, if you go find a skull and water somewhere, you can intuit that spot right there must be a fort. And then all the tokens are double-sided with like a question mark on the back, which is cool. So you can be like, maybe that's what this is. Or if you know for sure, you can be like, that's what this space is. This is definitely a wood. So when we need wood, we can go here later and pick it up.
Yeah. How many maps are in each, call it scenario? Do you know?
In the base game, there are 10 maps for each one.
So 5 pieces of paper or 10 double-sided?
I think 5 of each.
Okay.
In the retail game. Now, this Kickstarter edition, I think, has more maps than that. In fauna and flora, it definitely does. It has like 16 or something. But the company has more maps you can download and print off as well. Like I think they're going to be creating more stuff as well.
Yeah. So you'd have 20 plays of never playing the same map.
Right.
Again. And then I would say generally, if you're 20 plays down the road,
you're not going to
remember what the other one is. So like you could replay them. It's not like you can never play.
I think they're replayable. Like
but you couldn't replay one like right away.
I mean, Ben and I played about half this one,
right?
Like a month ago, and tonight it was still set up because I didn't get to finish it, and I basically just covered it all back up and we started again. I couldn't remember anything.
Right. Yeah.
So like if you can remember all those spaces, I think the game. I think all the maps are replayable given a little bit of time for sure. Unless you have like an eidetic super memory.
Okay, yeah, so a couple pros for me. There is the their challenge track, I think is what it is. Yeah. So as you explore, you pop these little tokens off the board, you see what's underneath, you get the stuff, and then you put your the sun side of the token back on the challenge track. Mm-hmm. And each challenge has a different number of sun tokens you can put on there before you execute the challenge. Yep. I really like that it tends to push you pretty hard. None of them are easy. It's always hard to like get to getting the stuff, and sometimes the rewards aren't even that good, and maybe the bad stuff is
right. Sometimes the reward is still like a negative, right, and the fail is just more negative.
Yeah. So, but like it gives you a really good counter of here's how many turns we have to do this stuff, and it feels like this game would not be nearly as fun if it didn't say like 75% of your energy was like I got to fulfill this stuff, and then oh yeah, and 25% I got to like we also have all these other things that we have to go do, and it feels like you're spending a lot of your time trying to fulfill these challenges just to not like die. Yeah. And then on top of that, now you're trying to also tack on you're trying to squeak in the main mission when you can, and right, hopefully some of those things overlap a little bit, and you feel a little clever when you're like, okay, cool. If we do this also helps progress our main mission, and we get our skull or whatever it is, right? So that we need for our challenge. I think that's pretty cool.
And I've played more fauna than I've played flora, but I feel like fauna, and that's like the first thing they tell you to play in the game. I think that's kind of the learning, like normal kind of mode. To me, I think the flora is really hard. Like if you're looking for a challenge, I think the flora chapter is a step up, just because it has those tokens that are bad when you hit them, and you have to have the fire available. Like you have to constantly be making fires in this game. In fauna, you don't have to make fire like at all, really, if you don't want to.
Right.
Or like you barely need fire.
Unless a challenge had fire on it, we were not even building any.
Yeah, this one is like if we hit a spot with a bad guy in it and we don't have a fire, we lose one of our 4 explorers, and we lose all 5 explorers, we're out.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because that random trail is random every game, and basically it has a list of things you want to find in a row. So like our first one was a teepee tonight. And TP was nowhere near where we started this thing. And so we didn't even get to move on the first card until we were almost dead.
Yeah, it was definitely very difficult. The fauna I felt was a lot easier when we played it previously, just because you could kind of go anywhere and you didn't really have any like locked in other than trying to do the challenges. Whereas the flora seemed very specific with the direction you wanted to go and where you needed to end up.
And I shouldn't say that the fauna was easy. Like I still feel like
we died a couple times on fauna.
I want to say most of the times they've done it, like we kind of scraped by. Flora feels like I'm just like running up on a treadmill uphill.
It's another step up. Yeah.
Yeah, like which makes me want to just go back and try it again. Because tonight we're like, oh man, should we set this up and go again? But we thought, no, we should probably get this recorded.
Right.
So
I mean,
we'll have to revisit the flora scenario.
I would tell you when we failed the fauna one last, was it the Camp Refresh or whatever? We basically ran it straight back. We like slid another map in and we ran.
And that's a big pro for me too. Like there's very few games that I'll ever be like, oh yeah, let's just set this up and play it again right now. And this is a game I would do that with.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, you can't do the same map usually.
Right.
I mean, there's a chance that you die like out of the gate.
You could die pretty early.
Yeah. But you know, the whole game doesn't take too long anyway. What's that say on the box? Do you know?
It says 45 to 75.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I think BGG said 60 to 90, but I think it's closer to what the box says, probably. Shorter if you die.
Shorter if you die, yeah. Which
45 to 75 is if you win.
I would say if you're a person that likes co-op games where you win 90% of the time, this is probably not the game for you.
No. I feel like this could probably be closer to a 50-50 type split, which I think feels pretty good for a co-op. Once you got good at it. I mean, I have not won a Flora chapter yet. But I've only played 2, so...
Yeah, some of them get pretty wild, too, some of the expansion stuff, so...
Yeah, well, I'll get into some of that in my final thoughts, but I'm excited to try this game more. If you can find the Kickstarter box, there's... A pro is there's tons of stuff in the box.
Yeah.
There's 3 or 4 more expansions full of stuff, and there's 3 or 4 times as many maps. Like, I'm never going to play all this stuff.
Yeah.
Although, maybe I will, because... Another pro, like, and I played this game once solo, it rips. Like, if you want to just pull something out and play it by yourself, this is about as good as it gets because you just play the game normally.
Yeah, so my one hesitation with playing solo is that, like, sometimes I get stuck in the, like, oh, this has got to be this thing, and it's clearly not. Clearly the rule, I'm actually reading a rule wrong, or,
right.
like, you know, oh, but I didn't notice that the stone's there, so it's not that, and I would start flipping over stuff and be like, why isn't that, you know, like, for me, it's really nice to have other people, because then, you know, Jared says, no, that's actually this thing, or I say the same thing to Jared, or whatever it is, right? So, I think
that is nice.
That bouncing ideas off of each other, or helping each other, like maybe figure out when to use a gear or something, I think is cool.
And it could be player dependent too, but I think this probably plays well at all player counts as long as your group is really communicative and like just like even though it's not, this is a game where even when it's not your turn, you can still be talking about what could be happening on the board.
Yeah, it's almost like
it's like always everyone's turn,
right? Yeah,
it's
basically you're playing one player with collaborating on.
I'm gonna throw this into the con pile. It's super quarterbackable.
Sure.
Like if you have the quarterback at the table, kick him out.
Like here's what I would say: if you're a person that quarterbacks these games or whatever, just don't play this game. Like play something else.
Right.
This is about everybody cooperating together and moving forward, not like being dominated by one person. Just play it by yourself, I guess, if you just want to do that. So
I would say to that point, since I'm the person who usually quarterbacks these types of games,
I don't think you're bad at it at all. I would disagree.
No, I was just going to say that, like, I think the biggest pro for me in this game is that the puzzles are really complex and there's a lot going on with them. And so there's a lot of, I think this game is kind of hard to quarterback. And I think that what Tim was saying earlier about about you noticing things that somebody else might not, me noticing things that Tim doesn't, and vice versa, helps to alleviate some of that. And I really think if you dig in, the puzzles are really challenging and therefore very enjoyable to complete and figure out where stuff is.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on. There's probably 5, 6, 7, 8 rules per map or per scenario, I guess, because the rules are the same for every map, right?
I mean, there's about 10 as I'm looking at the back of this one.
Yeah.
I like the fact that every move really does kind of matter. Like, you might not feel like that at the beginning, and then you'll lose. Well, you have to be pretty purposeful where you move, looking ahead at the cards you're going to do, using your character abilities at the right time, using your equipment at the right time. Because there's a lot of times where it's like, okay, well, we know where all this stuff is. What do we need coming up? We need this. Well, where could this possibly be? And like, which way do we want to go? This game just has I've been in a lot of cooperative games where you don't really need to even talk that much. Everyone just kind of does it. This just feels like a very cohesive together experience.
It feels like the opposite of that.
Like every time I've ever played, like it just feels really cooperative.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term, like it just feels like almost an ultimate cooperative game to me.
Yeah, like Jared said, there's so much on the map and between the challenge cards and everything that everybody's got to take in. It feels like if you don't all work as a team together and someone's like trying to run over somebody else, like you're going to fail. Because for me, it feels like you're on a knife's edge almost the entire game.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get over the hump and like you're now okay, we're moving towards the end, but like it feels like,
or if you think you're not, you're gonna be.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like it feels like if you just make a couple mistakes, the game's over.
Because early on, we're like, oh yeah, we can just get rid of that water. It's fine. Although I like that decision too. It's like, okay, is it worth killing ourselves to actually complete this card, or should we fail it? And like, it is okay to fail a card in certain scenarios. Sometimes if you fail and you can't lose a thing, there's no negative because you couldn't lose it, which is good. Like,
so just if you don't have stuff,
you can't have less stuff.
Yeah, you can't have less stuff.
I mean, it's like you lose a fire. Okay, well, I don't have a fire to lose. And could you imagine how hard the game would be as if you couldn't lose like what? Like
you had to lose 2 water instead,
if there was a penalty for not being able to lose something you didn't have, that would be pretty brutal.
Yeah.
I think for me, the other nice thing was as soon as this game ended, after we'd realized that we'd lost, we immediately started talking about the beginning of the game and what could we have done differently and what other paths could we maybe have gone down to maybe have made this better. I think that's a really cool, cohesive part of the game is like, as soon as you're done, you're like, okay, what could we have done? How could we have done this better?
Like what are we going to do? How are we going to attack this scenario next time? Because I think there's a way to come at this flora chapter that I'm not quite seeing yet that will hopefully make it a little easier. And I just got to figure out what that is. And I think part of it might be there's this special resource in the flora scenario that's kind of like it's not a stone, it's like a shale type thing. And it can be used with wood. So normally to make a fire, it's 2 wood or 2 stone. And you can use this resource and a wood or this resource and a stone to make the fire, which fire is everything in this game. You got to be making fires all the time. And you only can find it in one square box. Like if you come inside the map one level, it's in a square box around there. And we just did not explore that area. Partially because Minotaurs popped up there.
Yep.
And partially because we were trying to do other things. But I feel like you might need that resource to pop up more often just so you can make that fire easier. The problem also is, like, we need to build the fire. Well, we also need to not fail this card. Right. So which one do we do?
Yeah, well, we have 2 resources. We could either get the challenge and not die or make a fire. And it's like, So.
Yeah, and I thought that the first time I played this, I was like, oh, it's not really that big a deal. Like, when the card comes out and you only have so many spots in your inventory, and unless you build a shelter, you have even a smaller inventory. I think the inventory management can be tricky at times too. And there's things that make you lose inventory slots.
Yeah.
So that's a neat mechanism as well.
Yeah. So like in your example, finding the wrong thing, like finding water when you're full on water feels like that's basically a wasted turn, right? Like
100%.
Yeah. And you might need the water later. We did that a couple times. Yeah. And so finding the shelter space when you already have the shelter on the board, like that's tough too. So,
right.
Like I said, it just feels like you're on a knife's edge like all the time. And
because every turn gets you one turn closer to having to evaluate that next challenge card.
Yeah. And after you do 3 challenges, you have to feed everybody.
Right. And there's only so much food on the board.
Right. Yeah. So
just talking about it gives me anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah. It like if you're I need a breezy co-op, like we're all going to chill and have a glass of wine and, play a game. This is like the opposite of that. I need a challenge with my co-ops. We usually smoke all these co-op games. Like if you need a challenge, I think this is your game.
Yeah, man.
All right. So we've been fawning over this game for like 20 minutes. So how about any cons?
I mean, my biggest con, I think, I'm not sure how enamored I am with the rule book, to be honest. I think I have the base game rule book would have, the rules were fine, I guess. They have the setup, and then it's like, well, now go to the specific chapter and do that stuff. I get it. Like, there's also, in my box, there's a lot of components to keep separate and like mixing in and out. It's like, okay, if we're playing this setup, I know there's not that much stuff, but setup just seems kind of tedious.
It's definitely tedious.
A little bit, because like mix these 2 cards into this deck and this into that. Like, I say that, and I play these huge ass Euro games that are way more.
I mean, this game could take 15 minutes to set up.
Yeah, and like it just shouldn't. I feel like.
There might be a better way to set it up.
For me, I think that like the challenge decks and the threat decks and I think they should have just included the whole deck in the scenario, because instead you have like 4 cards and then you go pick like two random ones. I think if they would have just built the scenarios around, okay, there's 10 cards in the challenge deck.
Yeah.
Remove 4
but
or whatever
it is important, like, because we played with the Flora ones today, and like the Flora one specifically had bad things that were like lose your explorer tokens, which is the way to die. And like those cards would be pointless in a different scenario.
Well, what I'm saying is every scenario should have its own deck.
Oh, just its own complete deck.
The full deck, so you don't have to go mix and match cards or whatever.
You just like go to this box and pull out all the stuff for this scenario.
Like I think there should be 2 sets of Minotaurs, right? So here's your Flora box.
Yeah.
Boom, it's got everything in it. It's got all the pieces you need or whatever. Instead, you only have 4 Minotaurs, which are used in both the Flora and the Fauna.
And that was what confused me at the beginning too. Was like, oh, Minotaurs are in both of these, like. And I think there's quite a bit of rules questioning on BGG, but most everything seems straightforward on the answers on it. Like everything that you would intuit is correct.
Yeah, like
in this game, it's like you could pretty much, I think, just rule it in your head and go that way, and you're probably right.
Yeah. And it's a co-op game, so it's not like it's
Also that play what feels good.
Yeah,
there.
and like we had a gear card that was like, well, why would you ever need this card? Because so we kind of made a ruling that like, okay, you're going to use this card, but you're not going to put the sun token onto your challenge.
Yeah, otherwise, why would it exist?
Yeah, because otherwise it's just taking another turn.
Oh, I guess the other thing is maybe a con for me is like there is a score for this game. Mm-hmm. I don't think I care. Like every time I've won the game, I think only one time I remember to go look and see what our score was.
Yeah,
I think every other time I've played, I've either lost or forgot to look what my score was, because do I care?
You either finished it or you didn't.
That's kind of what it is in my head, because there's a lot of equipment cards that are like, if you didn't use this equipment card, you get like 3 points.
Like,
okay,
the game,
it's hard enough. Like if
hard.
I won,
Yeah.
I won.
Yeah.
Like I don't care how many points I scored. So
this is not a.
It's nice that it's there, but I don't know that I care about it.
It's not a co-op where you're like winning every time. Like what Hamlet? I don't know what not Hamlet. What Dorfroman? Like it's not like that. Like
right. You're not. It's not one where you're playing like a party co-op game where it's like or Hanabi. Or
yeah.
whatever.
If you get over 100, you guys were the boss's boss. Like whatever it is. Like this is if you make 2 wrong moves, you're dead and the scenario's over. So like just winning it is for me at least is like. That's a good
I mean,
game.
I think it's nice to have it there, just because in the future, if you play this game a lot, you can get to a point where maybe you're winning consistently, and then you have a benchmark to say, hey, did we play this better than we played it last time? Yeah, cool. That's awesome.
I couldn't imagine winning this game consistently. So
the faster you win the game, too, the higher your score is. Yeah. I think it has to count like how many tokens you have left or how many cards you have left in the deck, and then it can come from some different cards and things. My other con I already kind of talked about. If you have Tom Brady, the quarterback, he's going to quarterback it. And he's going to quarterback it hard, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Unless he can't deduce.
Don't you know these people, though? Like, you know someone.
I mean, I'm sure I do, but like...
The super type A.
Yeah, but...
They will tell you everything you should be doing all the time.
Unless they're like super good at deduction too. Like I don't know. It just feels like there's enough stuff that you could just miss a little bit.
Maybe.
And then maybe just put them in their place.
There's just no hidden information.
Right.
Besides the board. But I mean, you can. That's the deduction part, right?
Yeah,
like,
or just tell them to go play this game by themselves.
And that person can do that. So BGG did say best at 1.
Yeah. I would not like this game at 1, I don't think.
Oh, I liked it the time I did it, and that's like the only way I'm probably gonna play a lot of. I mean, if I'm gonna finish and play like every map in here, that's probably how it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I would enjoy it at 1.
Jared, you got any cons?
Not really. Like for me, this game just kind of hits all of my desires. I think the only con I might have is that everyone was super surprised that I even like this game because it's cooperative, which I notoriously don't really like cooperative games. But there's so much cool puzzle stuff to this that it doesn't even matter. That part's irrelevant. It's just super fun to
That's true.
to play to know the different rules and try to figure stuff out.
I think when I talked about this briefly on the podcast before, I think I even mentioned that you liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I said I didn't think you would. So
I mean, I don't really love co-op games either.
see, I didn't
like
think
this
you
game.
did either.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that one time we are going to play Dark Tower. I'd be like, no, I do. But like, it just depends on what it is.
I would say there are definitely some co-op games that are significantly more fun than others. So Dark Tower probably falls in that category too. And it's probably because, again, Dark Tower is like, you're probably going to die most of the time, and maybe that's what I like, is that, the hard co-op games. So, all right, let's rake this thing.
All right, man. Here on the Board Boys podcast, we have a 3 Boeing rating scale, 0 being the worst, 3 being the best. One time you can give your 4 Boeing game. Half Boeings are allowed. I'm going to say a 0 Boeing game in the world of Corp of Discovery is you're on the Oregon Trail and
You're dying of dysentery.
You're dying of dysentery, and you tried to hunt some buffalo, and you just failed doing that.
One's a minotaur.
You ran, one turned out to be a minotaur. You ran out of bullets. You only brought 1 wagon axle, and that broke. And so your tombstones are just out there. You're dead.
Yeah. 3 Boeing.
3 Boeing is you decided to buy that extra wagon axle, so when your wagon broke, you were able to fix it. And you just killed, and Minotaur meat tastes really good, and you're really good at hunting them.
You found Sacagawea. She killed all the Minotaurs for you off the top of the map. And
then you make it to the end, and then you use the left and right arrows to make it all the way down the river at the end of the game.
I don't even remember that.
It's because you probably weren't good enough to make it to the end.
That might be true.
Boom.
Yeah.
Oregon Trail in elementary school, man.
Yeah. Jared, do you want to start us ranking this thing off first?
Sure. For me, this is like a 2.5 Boeing. I just think this is a really solid game. And if you like puzzles and you are a giant nerd like me and loved playing Minesweeper, loved playing Sudoku, I think this game is just right down that deduction, enjoyment that you can have.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 2.5 too. I agree with all that stuff. The deduction's great. I like the we're all in it together vibe of it being so hard, right? That makes sense? Like, it's just, it feels like everybody's, I don't know, you're sitting out in the wilderness trying to survive all together, and you got to scrape together all the stone you can get to build that fire or whatever. So I really like it for, the co-op and the Minesweeper part. It's fantastic.
So I think I'm going to come in. I was on the edge. I think I'm going to go with a 3. And the reason behind that is I think it's good at 1, 2, 3, or 4 players, and you play it the same way. That's the biggest thing for me in solo games is if it has a lot of extra rules overhead or whatever, and it doesn't. So that's great. The playing time is great. Like, I can't think of another game besides maybe like a party game that I've played in the last 2 years where I've been like, oh yeah, let's run it again. That just doesn't happen. And you can do that because of the playing time, and normally because, we just lost, let's flip it to a new map and try again because we're mad at this thing and we're going to do it. Same thing Tim said, we're in it together. And maybe also because the retail box is probably a 3 as well, but the Kickstarter box has like an expansion in it for insects. That's a whole nother thing with a whole bunch more maps in a different scenario. It's got one where you're trying to like protect this creature from this other creature that it's hunting. There's one that actually has a hidden traitor possibility in it, which I have not read the rules for, but seems wild in a game that's already really hard. But but I'm definitely going to play that and try it out. So, and there's another one called Fog, which I think just messes, and then you can mix Fog with like a bunch of the other ones, and I think it just makes the deduction and like figuring out the logic murkier.
Ugh.
Right?
Yeah.
Love it.
So anyway, I feel like this is a game that will actually keep coming back to the table because everyone I play it with likes it. And so if I'm like, hey, do you want to play Corp of Discovery? People are going to say yes. And if I have enough different groups that will say yes to it, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's not...
And I play with anybody.
Like, setup takes a little bit of time or whatever, but like... the rules overhead and getting into it is very minimal.
Yeah, we didn't mention that. It's like, minimal.
You can basically just start playing.
And that's why like playing it multiple times in a row is legit because especially if you're going to do the same scenario, most of the heavy lifting is already done for you on setup. Yeah. So why not just reset it and go again?
Yeah, you could teach this game in 30 seconds and then get the real details when you start flipping tokens, but you just be like, okay, we got to find 3 forts and we got to kill these 4 minotaurs. They show up when they show up.
Yeah.
Like, here's how you take your turn. Pull the thing off. Oh, we do the stuff underneath and off we go, right? We got to get some challenges.
Also true. Yeah. 3 boings.
Yeah. Tight.
Awesome.
All right. On the Board Boys podcast, we like to look back 1 year in the past at a segment we call Bumper Dump. Rob, do you want to sing us a song?
Baby, turn around, something, 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 something. Board Boys bump.
Or dump. So 1 year in the past...
I don't know why I can't remember that song.
Yeah, I mean...
I got to channel my inner Cam.
I just like it because you make it up every time. So, all right. So we looked back... Or 1 year ago, we played Beyond the Sun, which is kind of actually surprising that we hadn't played that game yet, considering it's been in the top 100 for quite a while. But it was a 7.9 for 84. It is still a 7.9.
It's got to be a dump.
Did it go up or down from 79, Jared? Or 84, I'm sorry.
I'm changing my mind. Bump. It bumped.
I think it went down. Dump.
Dump. It's dump. 104. It bopped out of the top 100. So
bopped out.
Yeah. I don't know that I've played this game since then.
I've done it on BGA, and I decided I didn't like it on BGA.
It's a little weird on BGA.
So since then, I have played... Beyond the Horizon multiple times, which we wanted to line that up with this look back, but we wanted more of the Board Boys to be on that episode. So,
and one of Jake's favorite games is Beyond the Sun.
So look forward to that in season 17, probably. Yeah. And I'll talk about my stuff there, but yeah, it's Tech Tree the game, man. Yeah.
Jared, any thoughts on Beyond the Sun? You played Beyond the Sun?
I don't know if I've played Beyond the Sun.
Okay, it's basically you're doing kind of two things. I do
like tech trees. So
you're running a tech tree,
or you're making me enjoy it.
Shooting your ships around a board, and they're all basically...
I feel like you played it.
Yeah.
I probably have. I'd have to see it.
Yeah.
It got a lot of play around here.
Yeah. It's good. I think I liked it the least of all the boys. So if you want to give us your feedback, you can do so at our Board Game Geek Guild. You can find that through the website. Christopher Boat, who's over in the other room, hasn't played it in a while, and he doesn't really like tech tree games, but he feels this is more focused on exploring and discovery, discovering the tech tree, I believe, instead of the slog that's usually tech trees and Civ games. It somehow feels both streamlined and substantial, 2.5 boings. BJ from Board Game Gumbo, Beyond the Sun is his number 2 favorite game of all time. Played it in person a bunch and on BGA 62 times. It never gets old due to the way the text and the plans and the goals come out differently in each game. Heavy on space colonization, heavy on tech, some with doing each, and some of that resembles a knife fight in a phone booth. He would say it would be 5 boings, but Jake will just edit it out of the podcast, so he's only going to give it 3 4 boingies. And then Ryan says Beyond the Sun is one of my favorite games, so it's 3 boings. I would also echo what BJ said above. Clean, streamlined, multiple strategies, great decisions, and fun gameplay. And Jeremy Thoman, who is also in the other room, I feel underwhelmed on his one play. Maybe it's too much for a BGA play. I guess it usually feels... I usually feel behind and wishing I had other text, which leaves bad emotional feel when I play. I don't want games to make me sad. Controversial 1.5 points. I would say Beyond the Sun, you can definitely work yourself into a position that it's very hard to get out of by not having the right stuff that you need.
I'd be curious. I know Jeremy has played Beyond the Horizon with me because he played that at Board Game Geek Con last year. So I think he liked it, but might have been a little bit of that BGA taint.
Yeah, I just feel like at least my plays of Beyond the Sun, either I get up over the hump and everything's rolling and everything's going. I've got the 4 level tech and all that other stuff, or I'm stuck in level 2 tech hell and I can't get the right spots and I just don't have the things, you know.
The expansion's cool too.
Oh, okay.
I think we played with that on the podcast episode.
Okay. Yeah.
It mainly is like unique player powers, which I thought was cool. So it was a fairly minimal.
There was like a race to score some things too, I think.
Yeah, like a fairly minimal add to that expansion. Yeah. Well, that'll wrap it up for another episode of the Board Boys podcast, season 16, episode 13. I guess that's a wrap on the season as well. So thanks, Jared, for finishing out season 16 with us.
Anytime.
And I'm hoping we had a season 15 game day here at Dungeons Gate. We will be having a season 16 game day at Dungeons Gate as soon as I can get a time on a Saturday that they'll let us come in here.
And we've been having season tournaments on BGA. So we have a season 1 tournament going on right now. So if you like playing BGA games and you want to
we've been doing that for a while.
BGA game tournaments take quite a while, but like where we choose games from a season and then we play them on BGA and with kind of, you know, there's probably 10 to 20 people that are playing in it. So it's been pretty fun. Random tournaments pop off in that Discord all the time.
Yeah, so come to our Discord, come to our website, theboardboys.com. There you can join our Discord. You can check out all our links to our social media. You can give us a 5-star iTunes review. You can, send me an email on the contact section. You can go check out our pictures under the contact us area. I think or the about us area. We should probably update that.
Nah.
It's got some age to it. All right. You can also join our Patreon. The link is there on theboardboys.com. I'd like to thank our patrons now. Hammond McDonough, BJ from Board Game Gumbo, Timothy Crisco, Shifty Teeth, Jordan Smith, Jeff Gray, Andre Bosch, Braden Dowdy, Rob Cooper, Richard Lane, Matt Kelly, Portland Gamecraft, Terry Ward, Jeremy Thoman, and Dom Lankin. Thanks again, everybody. And until next time, we hope you like board games.
Boing, boing, boing.